On this week's episode of Rainbow Hollywood, Sundance Film Festival is moving to Colorado in Boulder. I believe so. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is revealing a release date where where Josh Hutcherson's character worked. Blumhouse at CinemaCon, which features was a move among the handful key additions, changes Universal and Profile-like partner Blumhouse to make their way. Fantastic Four at CinemaCon, meaning the first family of Marvel arrived in Las Vegas with the new footage from Fantastic Four First Steps. First Steps. Chris Pratt revealed his new film at CinemaCon, which is The Electric State on Netflix. The Electric State, The Electric State on Netflix. Sony announced the live action adaptation of the Legend of Zelda game series into a live action film. And AMC Theaters having the cheering chaos over the chicken jockey part from the Minecraft movie with Jack Black telling them about the rules in the theater of seeing the Minecraft movie. Rainbow Hollywood starts now. Hello, Rainbow Hollywood listeners. I'm Caleb Law, and we're welcoming you to this week's episode of Rainbow Hollywood. So let's get our, let's get right into it. Get ready for the walkable Pearl Street at the heart of Boulder to become a new main street. After a long year's search, Boulder, Colorado landed the winning bid to host the Sundance Film Festival starting in 2027, with the official announcement dropping on March 27th. Festival veterans are already are already waxing poetic about their favorite Park City haunts. But it should be noted there are many parallels to Sundance's new home, like a big reason it was chosen in the first place. The walkable Pearl Street at the heart of Boulder will be the new street. It is filled with shops, restaurants, and other storefronts that can easily be flipped into the Chase Sapphire Lounge, where you still can avoid the eye contacts with whomever you are trying to avoid by staring into your watered down tequila soda. Like Park City, Boulder is surrounded by the Rockies, but festival goers will share at the Flatirons as opposed to Utah's Wasatch Mountains as as they wait to get into the Chase Sapphire Lounge for the most watered down tequila soda of their lives. The charming Boulder Theater will remind people of Park City Egyptian in that you will take photos of the marquee for I mean mark for Instagram and likely never step foot inside. And it will still take you to an hour to get from the airport to your hotel. Of course, there are notable differences between Park City and Boulder. While Park City was a vacation town filled with second or third homes of the affluent from Hollywood, tech and businesses, Boulder is a through and through college town. This means a change to the non-industry audience, with a shift from bored rich people asking in loud whispers, "Is this a metaphor for something?" to bored 21-year-olds getting extra credits for Gen Ed requirement. Below is an early lay of the land for the 2027 festival. So Long River House and Grappa, with a Michelin star and some James Beard awards to boot. It seems that the Italian offering fresca food and wine will no doubt be a coveted table. Other likely to book up far in advance are farm to table, spot bramble to hare, tomahawk slinging steakhouse number 316, elevated Mexican outpost Cazobe Fiona Fina, and Tapas restaurant Carita, notable for its view of the surrounding flat tires and an equally breathtaking queso asado. Queso asado. What am I doing? Sundance hasn't announced the official theaters for the 2020. I mean, Sundance hasn't announced the official theaters for the 2027 fest, but a major priority for its new homes was a space with 1,300 seats for splashy premieres. With this in mind, meet the Mackey. It's the auditorium on CU Boulder's campus, which has space for over 2,000 and almost any building on the college campus is within walking distance of the Chipotle and a Panda Express. The ski lift at the bottom of the main street quick acted as a quick getaway in between screenings, while Deer Valley is where you could reliably find whatever agent wasn't returning your calls. In Boulder, your new hill is likely to be Eldora, roughly a 35-minute drive from downtown Boulder, and for those of us without sedans, driven by support staff. There is a bus from Boulder to the mountain. Currently, it's $99 for a day pass. Eldora has only 53 trials, but the better known and bigger Colorado peaks like Arapahoe Basin, Breckenridge, and Keystone are going to net you a 3-hour drive round trip, while Vail is a 2-hour drive one way. Likely one of the biggest changes for the Sundance regular and will be accommodations, while Boulder mercifully over indexes on affordable housing options. The lack of 5-star options akin to Park City's St. Regis and Montage will no doubt cause a run on reservations. The, um, the locally owned boutique St. Julian Hotel will be the most in demand with only 201 guest rooms, along with the Victorian-inspired Boulderado. For the faint of heart, never fear. There is the Four Seasons in Denver. Boulder being a college town means, if nothing else, that there is a plethora of dive bars, taking the place of no-name saloon, and High West on your nightly circuit could be Sundown Saloon, Jungle, or Bohemian Biergarten. You may just have to battle your way through some co-eds to get to the bar. And with Colorado having legalized recreational weed in 2012, there are plenty of dispensaries to patronize. Vertically integrated and locally operated, 14er has been breeding and cultivating cannabis flowers and extracts since 2010. 2010. It sells edibles, vapes, and most anything else out of its flagship store in Boulder. Next to dehydration and missing texts from your boss, um, malnourishment is the biggest threat to any Sundance festival goer, and it's looking like Boulder will be far as accommodating than pot. I didn't say pot. I said accommodating than Park City to the masses of in need of the 30-minute meal in between screenings. The Sink is a staple serving burgers and beers, while Avanti on Pearl Street offers everything from pizza to ramen in a in a food hall venue. Hot Dog Outpost Mustard Last Stand and Subshot Shiva Hut can be your answer to El Chubasco. The actor turned up at AMC Century City 15 over the April 11th and 13th weekend, after days of headlines about rowdy kids and teens hurling concessions into the audience during the key scene involving black. No, no, I mean, into the audience during the key scene over involving black. Anyway, keep your popcorn to yourself! That was Jack Black's instructions to moviegoers attending a screening of a Minecraft movie over April 11th and 13th weekend at AMC Century City in LA, following days of headlines about young moviegoers engaging in rowdy behavior and hurling handfuls of popcorn into the crowd when Black's character exclaims, "Chicken Jockey!" As Black entered the auditorium unannounced, he initially disguised his voice when intoning for today's presentation of a Minecraft movie. Please no throwing popcorn. When he began speaking in his own voice and was recognized, the crowds went nuts as he waved his main prop for the movie and axe. "Look what I brought," he said, eliciting hoots and hollers. Throughout the movie's opening weekend, throughout the movie's opening a week earlier, viral videos captured audiences going wild, throwing food and drinks and trashing auditoriums. In one video, somebody was even kicked out for holding up a live chicken. Some theaters are issuing warnings with Cinema United, a trade organization representing thousands of exhibitors across the globe, including a memo of voluntary guidelines, including pre-show announcements, and that if the situation escalates, local authorities can be called. Reportedly, in at least one moviegoer's videos, police have been. Oh, forget it. No, forget it. After all, a Minecraft movie is delivering a huge win for the box office, having cleared $552 million in global ticket sales in less than 2 weeks to already become one of the biggest video game adaptations of all time, not adjusted for inflation. It earned $78.5 million in its second weekend, domestically, for a cum of $278.9 million and $273.8 million overseas, for a global total of $552.6 million. And it couldn't have come at a better time for Warner Brothers motion picture chiefs Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdi, who had previously come under fire after a series of misses. Minecraft, produced and co-financed by Legendary Pictures, is the top release of the year to date, and is also assured of becoming the first film of 2025 to clear $1 billion in worldwide ticket sales. While theater workers are unhappy about the mess they are stuck cleaning up, many exhibitors and especially some of the biggest chains are refraining from posting wholesale prohibitions on the behavior out of concern that such warnings would only inflame the situation. Insiders say such warnings may not have been helpful when rabid fans of Minions: The Rise of Gru began throwing began throwing bananas during screenings of the film, or more recently when chains including AMC asked Wicked moviegoers to refrain from singing along with the film. For the I don't know. A Minecraft movie follows four misfits who are pulled through a portal into a cubic world and must embark on a quest back into the real world. The real world, with the help of an expert crafter named Steve. At one point, a baby zombie falls onto the back of a children. Back of the chicken, making a chicken jockey, an extremely occurrence in the game, which prompts fans to erupt with excitement and surprise. Sorry. Back, I mean, I didn't say back. Black was surely dispatched to AMC Century City to do some damage control and hopefully sparked his own viral moment that could counteract the urge to hurl popcorn. Are you ready to rock? Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Minecraft movie, said Black as he walked the sides of the packed auditorium at AMC Century City. Hot on the heels of the release of Netflix's big budget sci-fi epic pick, The Electric State from Netflix. The Electric State from Netflix. Chris Pratt turned up in Las Vegas to talk about his next film, Mercy, and beg for some from the CinemaCon crowd. The Timur Bekmambetov directed film got a spin in the spotlight during the Amazon MGM Studios' presentation Wednesday night inside the Coliseum at the Caesar's Palace. Caesar's Palace. First, some high octane footage showed on the big screen, followed by Pratt turning up in the same chair as his character is stuck in for the majority of the picture. Set in a near future where capital crime has increased, Mercy, penned by Marco Van Bell, casts Pratt as a detective who, who is accused of murdering his wife and forced to prove his innocence in front of the Mercy Capital Court. Rebecca Ferguson, Annabelle Wallace, Collie Reese, Collie Rice, Chris Sullivan, Kylie Rogers, Jeff Puri, Rafi Gavron, Jamie McBride, and Kenneth Choi round out the cast. Charles Robin, Robert Amadin, Majd Nassif, and Bekmambetov produced the Atlas Entertainment and Basilev's project. Executive producers include Mark Moran and Todd Williams. Powered by artificial intelligence, the court forces Pratt's character to prove his innocence above a certain threshold, and he must do so in a specific amount of time. As Pratt's detective reveals, he helped create the Mercy program, so he knows how it works. He must use the high-tech tools to solve the mystery and find out who killed his wife before he executed himself. The footage showed Peter's character fighting for his life in some tense text scenes, and against the backdrop of the futuristic criminal system. Once the footage ended and the lights came on in the Coliseum, Pratt was seated on stage in the Mercy chair. So, check this out. The blockbuster actor said that this is the exact same chair we used in the movie. I spent a lot of time in this thing. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. He then said he had a mission in appearing at CinemaCon this year, and that was to thank the exhibitors for being partners in making movie magic. A voiceover boomed over the speaker, informing Pratt that his gesture of gratitude did not meet the acceptable threshold. He was then tasked with upping his percentage, much like what played out in the Mercy footage, or he would have to Uber home. Okay, Uber, fuck, Pratt exclaimed. In order to up his emotional expression, he phoned Ferguson, who suggested thanks in individual theater owners. So that's what Pratt did by slinging out a bunch of exhibitors like Adam Aaron of AMC, Sean Game of Cinemark, Harkins Marcus Theaters in Alamo, and few others. It did the trick and he was allowed to exit the chair, but not without one last thank you. God, it did the trick, but not without one last thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to all the exhibitors here, said Pratt, who also got an assist in the crowd from his directors, Beckerman Betove. Thank you for all your support for this industry that we all love. Give yourselves a round of applause. I do love you, exhibitors, and I will see you at the movies on January 3rd, 2026. CinemaCon, the annual gathering cinema owners in Hollywood studios, is hosted in Las Vegas by the newly rebranded Cinema United, which for decades was known as the National Association of Theater Owners. This year's edition runs from March 31st to April 3rd. The set will debut on May 1st, just in time for the May the 4th, the unofficial Star Wars holiday, but those attending Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo will be able to check it later this week. Jackson Hughes got his first Lego set, the Adventurer's Scorpion Tracker, as a gift from his best friend when he was a child, but no good deed instead goes punished, especially in the reckless days of childhood, and a few years later, when he was roughhousing at the best friend's house, the Lego version of the Starship, flown by Star Wars character Jango Fett, came crashing off the top of the bookshelf. It was reduced to a pile of bricks, and a friend was devastated. Hughes grew up to be a designer for Lego, but the infamous event, as he calls it, stuck in his memory. Now, more than 20 years later, the brick builder got a chance at redemption when he led the team that designed a new, massive building set for Jango Fett's Starship. Lego, once again heading to everyone's favorite Far, Far Away galaxy, is revealing the set Tuesday as part of the company's offering for May the 4th celebration, the yearly flood of the Star Wars merchandise. The reveal also comes just days before the Star Wars celebration kicks off in Tokyo and runs from April 18th through the 20th. Part of the more adulting Skewing Ultimate Collector series, the LEGO Star Wars Jango Fett's Fire Spray class Starship set is a 2,970-piece set that features an authentic interior, a movable main entrance, adjustable blasters, and seismic charges. The set can be displayed in a landing position or upright fight position, fe- and features a sleek display stand. The set will hit stores May 1st with a retail price of $299.99. I mean, $299.99. Once built, is set for once built, the set is 7.5 inches and 19 cm high, 17.5 inches and 44 cm long, and 15.5 inches and 39 cm wide. Those who are part of the those who are part of the Lego Insider program will receive a Lego Star Wars Jango Fett Starship keychain as a bonus if buying the set within the first 5 days. The first 5 days. The ship first appeared in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, the movie that also included Jango. I'm just simple I'm just a simple man trying to make my way into the universe. Fett the bounty hunter played by Tamira Morrison, who also voiced Moana's father Chief Tui in Moana franchise. The character became the basis of a clone trooper army and raised Boba Fett, his own clone, as his son. Hughes and his team spent 6 months working on the model. During the design phase, he relies on renders of the digital 3D model used in Attack of the Clones, as well as images of physical props and film sets, which were especially helpful for the complex cockpit interior. Adding to the difficulty was the curved shaping of the ship. LEGO has done several versions of the ship under the umbrella of the Boba Fett character, which is slightly modified and features a different color palette. This its first new attempt since 2002. The new version of the set has 4 new pieces, including the canopy, Fett's helmet, rangefinder, and 2 different size bows. The model also features the first LEGO brick-built semi-stick charge, a big deal for the Fett fans. Building at the Ultimate Collector Series scale allowed us to bring a high level of detail and accuracy to the design, Hughes said. For example, the cockpit accurately includes 2 decks and 5 seats, which has not been possible in any previous LEGO version of this ship. LEGO will have a sizable presence at Star Wars Celebration, with a 2,368 square feet booth filled with unique experiences, including a display of a new sets of ahead. Including a display of a new sets ahead of hitting shelves globally. Globally. The booth will bring iconic scenes from the screen to fans in brick form, with photo opportunities, exclusive giveaways, and special announcements. There will be a Lego pop-up store. Member of the Lego Star Wars design team will be on hand to take part of Q&A sessions with attendees. Hughes won't be a Hughes won't be in attendance, but his old best friend remains on his mind. I'm planning to give him the Jango Fett Starship UCS as a 2 decades late restitution, he says. Whoa. Nice. Co-star Giovanni Strahovski, she said she kept Serena's leather finger. I feel like it's a winner. And Madeline Brewer, kept J9's eye patch for sure. I walked right off the set and put all my stuff in my bag and got the hell out of here. Co-showrunner Eric Tuchman also confessed to co-showrunner Eric Tuchman also confessed to securing a bonnet to boots, Handmaid's costume, which he plans to keep in his closet. On a heavier note, the cast also talked on a carpet about how it felt to release the show's final season during the current um I mean, on the heavier note, the cast also talked on a carpet about how it felt to release the show's final season during the current political moment. Unfortunately, we need The Handmaid's Tale more than ever. I think we need this season of The Handmaid's Tale more than ever, said Brewer. We need to show that there's certain inextu- inins- um, um, inextingui- okay. Inextinguishable flames inside a person that just can't be taken away, that can't be stamped out. And that's never going to change, not in or out of The Handmaid's Tale. Some things are true and have always been true, like the extents of trans people. Bradley Whitford noted that when the show first premiered in April 2017, the idea was Roe versus Wade was going to be overturned, was unconceivable. We have seen over the course of this show's woman's health has been totally politicized. um, we've seen a president get elected while turning a um, um, vulnerable queer community into a political football. And as the handmaids in the series are forced to bear children for the men of Gilead, Woodford said that with abortion now outlawed in several states, several states forced birth, are happening now, and it's very upsetting. I hope that people understand that this is happening now, but I hope they don't despair because the heart of this show is June, played by Moss. Understanding that despair is a luxury her children can't afford, inaction is the antidote to despair. And we need to be the change. Samira Wiley also acknowledged it's definitely nothing that I wanted for this second term to happen. It's definitely nothing I ever would have imagined. But I do think that this show is always meeting the world and America where it is. The Handmaid's Tale Season 6 starts streaming on Hulu today. Sony is getting ready to lower the drawbridge for its forthcoming movie, The Legend of Zelda. The studio's live-action video game adaptation is set for theatrical release on March 26, 2027, with Nintendo announcing the news on their app Friday morning. Westball, who helmed last year's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, is directing the feature that has not yet announced plot, details, or cast. The feature version of The Legend of Zelda adapts the Nintendo gaming franchise of the same name that launched in 1986. The fantasy-inspired game series centered on the young Link and Princess Zelda, who attempt to save the kingdom of Hyrule from the evil Ganon. Zelda will complete Zelda will complete against Warner Brothers and Legendary's next film in the Godzilla and Kong franchise. Sorry, Zelda will complete against Warner Brothers and Legendary's next film in the Godzilla and Kong franchise that also hits theaters on the same day. Additionally, Paramount's fourth film in its Sonic the Hedgehog franchise that adapts a video game series of the same name is set for theatrical release the week prior. Sony is distributing the film that hails from Nintendo and Aviorad's Arad Productions Incorporated. Nintendo representative director and fellow Shigeru Miyamoto produces the feature alongside Arad. The Legend of Zelda live action movie was first announced in November of 2023, with Miyamoto posting at the time that he had been working on the adaptations for many years now, he added. We have now officially started with the development of the film, with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it. Nintendo, I mean, Zelda is a beloved property for fans of Nintendo, as the gaming giant is known for being protective of its titles. Universal's big screen release, Universal's 2023 big screen release, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which features the voices of Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, and Jack Black, and surpassed $1.3 million globally, was the first film to adapt a Nintendo property since the 1993 live-action version of the same game that stars the late Bob Hoskins as Mario and John Leguizamo as Luigi. Ball is known for directing the Maze Runner trilogy before taking on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, with the latter grossing nearly $400 million worldwide. Marvel's first family arrived in Las Vegas with new footage from Fantastic Four First Steps, unveiled at CinemaCon. Kevin Feige introduced the footage in a video segment. The Marvel Studios boss started his spiel by noticing that his team is days from principal photography on Avengers Doomsday, which has the Russell brothers directing and features Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. The Fantastic Four First Steps meanwhile stars Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and Eben Moss Backrack as Ben Grimm, aka The Thing. God. In a new trailer, which was not released online, Reed Richards and in a new trailer which was not released online, Reed Richards and Sue Storm learned that they are expecting a baby, leading to a conflicted reaction. "We can do this," Kirby said reassuringly. As the team battles threats from Galactus, Kirby remains resolute. "We will face this together," she said in a trailer. "We will fight it together as a family." In the film, Reed Richards notes in a press conference to a worried populace, "We will protect you." The footage saves a big surprise for last, as the Silver Surfer goes zooming along. The stakes are high for Fantastic Four, which arrives on July 25th, 2 weeks after DC Studios' tentpole Superman. This will be the last Marvel Studios movie before next summer's Avengers Doomsday, which stars Downey as Doctor Doom, who in the comics is the chief antagonist of the team. All four members of the Fantastic Four will appear in Doomsday, as revealed during the massive casting stunt last week. The movie also arrives after previous iterations of Fantastic Four made by 20th Century Studios failed to do justice to the quartet. who are among Marvel's most beloved heroes in the comics. Tim Story directed two money-making features in the mid-2000s, while Josh Trank directed a 2015 bomb. A previous trailer for the first steps teased Galacticus, the world's the world-eating villain played by Ralph Ineson in the film. Other stars Paul Walter Hauser and John Malkovich. The latest version of the script hails from Eric Pearson, the scribe who's known for Black Widow, Thunderbolts, and Thor Ragnarok. The two-time Oscar winners next stars in Jim Jarmusch's I can't okay I can't say his name. The two-time Oscar winner next stars in Father, Mother, Sister, Brother with Adam Driver, set for 2025 release. Cate Blanchett, a two-time Oscar winner, has told the British press that she is retiring from acting in the near future. The actor and producer said in an interview with a Radio Times this week that she wasn't sure calling herself an actress was quite accurate. It's because I'm giving up. My family rolled their eyes because every time I say it, but I mean it. I am serious about giving up acting. There are a lot of things I want to do in my life. The Australian star spoke ahead of BBC's Radio 4, airing an adaptation of Wallace Shawn's The Fever. Blanchett's first radio play, it follows a woman from a privileged background who visits an impoverished foreign country and suddenly becomes ill. She becomes emotionally unsettled and contemplates the little impact she had on the world. Only recently, Blanchett's acting credits include Alfonso Cuarón's Apple TV series Disclaimer and Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag, released in March, in which she stars with Michael Fassbender. The acting legend, known for Outage in The Lord of the Rings, The Aviator, Blue Jasmine, Tar, and more, has also finished a 5-week theater run at the Barbican in London. Starring in Chekhov's The Seagull, she has rapped on I can't remember this. She has rapped on Mother, Father, Sister, and Brother, set for 2025 release with Adam Driver, and is also filming Alpha Gang with David and Nathan Zellner. Blanchett also said in an interview that being a celebrity isn't Blanchett also said in an interview that being a celebrity isn't something she's taken to. When you go on a talk show or even Here Now, and then you see sound bites of things you've just said pulled out and italicized, they sound really loud. I'm not that person, Blanchett said. I make more sense in motion. It's been a long time to remotely comfortable with the idea of being photographed. And the star shared, I've always felt like I'm on a periphery of things. Periphery of things. And so I'm always surprised of when I belong anywhere. I go with curiosity into whatever environment that I'm in, not expecting to be accepted or welcomed. I've spent a lifetime getting comfortable with the feeling of being uncomfortable. Damn. The move was among a handful of key additions and changes Universal and prophylactic partner Blumhouse, made to their 2025 theatrical calendar, including pushing back the release of Megan 2.0 by a month from May 16th to 2027. Previously, The Black Phone 2 was set to open on June 27th, 2025. It will now go out months later on October 17th, 2025. The Five Nights at Freddy's sequel wasn't only the picture, they're getting a release date for the first time. Blumhouse's original thriller, The Woman in the Yard, will open on March 28th of next year, which it is now playing in theaters. Followed quickly by Platinum Dunes and Blumhouse's thriller Drop on April 22nd. The sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's was announced at CinemaCon in April, minus a release date. The first film was a surprise sensation that weathered poor reviews, and a day-and-date release on Peacock to land Blumhouse's top opening of all time with $78 million, not adjusted for inflation. It was also the biggest horror title of the year, grossing nearly $1 million worldwide. Emma Tammy is returning to direct the sequel. The budding film franchise is based on a video game created by Scott Cawthon, who is a producer alongside Jason Blum. The horror genre has come under security after a number of films underwhelmed at the box office, including Blumhouse's Exorcist reboot last year. Most box office observers, however, aren't yet convinced there is a fundamental problem, and Blumhouse and Universal would seem to agree based on their crowded slate. The trailer teases more mysteries involving the pizzeria where Josh Hutcherson's character worked. "They're out there, Mike," Elisabeth Moss says in the footage. After Hutcherson asks what that means, she clarifies, "Everywhere." Piper Rubio and Matthew Lillard co-star in director Emma Tammy's sequel to the 2023 original film Five Nights at Freddy's 2 hits in theaters December 5th. The first Five Nights at Freddy's film centers on a security guard at the pizzeria who soon learns that the establishment is home to some evil animatronics. The movies are based off on a video game franchise of the same name that debuted in 2014. The first film, despite the streaming release on Peacock, nabbed Blumhouse all the time. Best opening weekend with the $80 million domestically. Tammy directs the sequels from the script she co-wrote with Scott Cawthon and Seth Cuddyback. Universal announced at last year's CinemaCon that a sequel was in the works. Tammy, who also helmed the first film, previously told The Hollywood Reporter of a possible follow-up. "We have some loose ends that I think are going to have a comeback in a sequel to be tied up." CinemaCon is the annual event for exhibitors and Hollywood studios that runs this year from March 31st to April 3rd. It is presented by Cinema United. Okay, that's all the time we have for this week, and we'll be looking for you next week on Rainbow Hollywood. Bye.